I know a lot of people feel this way. A lot of moms I know, we always get really scared when the kids get fevers. And when is it too high? When should we start worrying? And what do we do when it gets really high? How do we avoid the ER? How do we avoid stress as parents? Because when we are stressed, our kids see it. And so I just need to know how to handle it and like what's healthy and what's not.
Okay, let me speak to this first and foremost.
Dr. Sebastian.
Dr. Sebastian. I have 2 kids, 5 and 3. And the fever is scary. First of all, can you explain what the hell is a fever? What's happening?
They're hot. Yeah, no. I mean, by definition, a fever is any temperature of 100.4 or higher.
100.4. So kids got 99.6.
Technically not a fever, maybe heading that way. Everybody's like, oh, they feel hot, they have a fever, but technically that's the hard and fast definition.
Okay.
In reality, it doesn't matter, and I'll explain why.
Okay. Number 2, I want to ask you, Amanda, how do you administer the fever? Is it with a gun, a little temperature gauge? How are you doing it? Okay.
It's the gun on the forehead.
Does this shit work?
It's become like the new thing, right?
Okay,
well, everybody.
but like to me, growing up, first of all, my sister does it up the ass, which apparently gets the best reading, right?
I've heard the same thing.
Okay,
but how old are her children?
19.
Yeah.
No. What's the most accurate way to get the temperature?
So the most accurate is a rectal temperature, but it's really, you wouldn't do it in a child over 2 months of age. It's uncomfortable. It's unnecessary. The reason why we always say rectal temperature is under 2 months of age, because it is the most accurate. And if it's 100.3, it's something we're discussing and watching. And if it's 100.4 in the first month of age, it's going to the hospital and getting a myriad of tests to make sure they're not very sick and they just have the cold that everybody else has in the family. So that's why it makes such a difference, 100.3 versus 100.4.
Okay, one more question. This is going to come from me. When my cousin had a bad fever, it's like 103, 104. This is back when we were growing up. They put him in a bath of ice. Is that Italian or what is that?
Seems Italian.
Have you ever even heard of it?
No, people do like cool compresses. I just think ice would be very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
right?
Well, when you're burning at 104 to dip in a little ice bath.
But anything's cooler than 104. You can do a sauna. Well, that's the thing.
When my daughter had her highest fever, we put the cold compresses under her armpits and on her feet. And when I put the cold compress on her feet, she said it feels like knives. So also a really high fever makes them so sensitive and achy that it's so painful to even do something as simple as a cold compress. So, but what happened was it went down from 103.6 to 102.2 that quickly because of the cold compresses. So that was the good news. So it is interesting that temperature, you can change their temperature very quickly. An ice bath does seem a little Italian.
And did you notice, like, when it came down, right? The more it came down, the better she felt. So she'd have periods of like feeling better and then fever come back and she'd be like out of it again, right?
Yeah, she was so uncomfortable. I'd never seen her so uncomfortable, and it was really scary. And the ice was so quick to work, quicker than any kind of Motrin, any kind of Tylenol, which we also administered immediately. It's really hard. It's really hard to have kids. So I guess that's maybe the lesson I'm taking away from this.
Yeah.
But also not the number, it's how they are feeling between fevers and how the medicine works is the lesson that I've taken away.
Yep. And consecutive days. Exactly.
Consecutive days. Okay.
Right. Because how long did it take for a fever finally to break? Probably about 3 days, right?
Well, knock on wood, my kids have never had fevers for that long.
Oh,
only
good.
2.
Good. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we know you're busy. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope Dr. Cohen has quelled some of your fears on fever. I know I'm going to be taking an ice bath tonight. I don't know about you, but thank you so much. Best of luck on what you're filming there, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Thanks, Amanda.
I'll call you in a couple of days.
Sounds good.
That's parenting.
You got it.
All right,
bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
The opinions expressed in this program are not intended as professional medical advice, as a diagnosis, as a treatment protocol, or as a substitute for professional medical advice from your physician. Please consider your own medical history and consult with your own physician for your specific healthcare and/or medical needs and about your concerns for yourself and your family.